We should be live right now. Hello, everybody. This is a very special stream. It's supposed to be very informational, educational. Um, Thank you, Douglas. You have the stream open.
Yes, but now I've muted it.
Very nice. Very nice. At least we know it's working. Very important, with my technical expertise. Okay, the topic today is everyone's favorite author, Tom Veitch. Creator of Dark Empire, Tales of the Jedi, Greedo's backstory, which is excellent, from Tales of the Mos Eisley Cantina. And then, of course, also Lightsider. And we're going to go into all of that a little bit, because Tom is certainly a character. Would you agree?
Yes, he's certainly an eclectic person.
Yes. And this also leads to a broader topic, which is certain Star Wars YouTubers and fans, often repeating the same information in favor of the expanded universe. Of course, there is many good quotes. And if you agree with what they say, sure, that's nice. You want to spread that, but you should also fact check instead of just blindly repeating. And that's what this is about, just setting the record straight in a way.
Yes, so dark greetings, everyone. I guess we should clarify that there's already a general consensus about Tom Veitch being unreliable in the Star Wars expanded universe community. So if you go to Wikipedia for the Dark Empire or Lightsider pages, you'll see carefully researched articles that mention Tom's sort of self-contradictory statements and where they're falsified by other more reliable individuals. And if you go onto the EU subreddit, you'll find plenty of threads where people talk about how unreliable Tom is. So really, the matter is settled within intelligent thinking circles, I'd say. But as you mentioned, there's a fringe of bad faith actors.
The intelligent circles aren't the circles we operate in.
No,
no.
And so, sort of on YouTube in particular, and they seem unquestionably loyal to Veitch and his statements, despite the fact that they contradict one another.
Yes, and it's a matter of wanting to believe a certain thing and bending facts and reality, to make that happen.
I think it's because they're against anything that paints the EU as being anything less than completely George Lucas blessed. So they don't like hearing that Lucas was against Dark Empire.
Yes, and it's also weird because ultimately it does go into the favor with like George Lucas, with him being like, I want to be more involved. That is the point of the story that we're going to get into.
Yeah, it's actually the genesis of his involvement in the expanded universe. And I'll come to that in a bit. But yeah, they don't like hearing that Lucas was against Dark Empire. They're willing to call Lucy Wilson a liar, despite the consistency of her statements and so on. I won't name names, but some people may know what and who I'm talking about. So really, it's worth providing YouTube with a record straightening session. So yes. Here's the truth about George Lucas and Dark Empire. Subtitle: Tom Veitch is a liar sometimes. God rest his soul.
Rest in peace. As we know, we are insulting a dead man by just stating like that he lied about his job in certain instances. And also, just as a disclaimer right away, I love Dark Empire. I legitimately like his work. So this is nothing against him as a person or as an author. It's just he made statements that are incorrect, and we have to talk about it.
Yep, I'm also a big fan of Dark Empire and generally a fan of Tom Veitch, even though I think he's a bit of a bullshitter. So this is the image that kicked things off. It was posted to a YouTubers post section. They've something like 8,000 subscribers, and they're using their platform to quote Veitch from 2003, apparently in a statement that's sort of false and subsequently contradicted. So it's a true statement, but the facts in it are not true. We don't have the exact source because the YouTuber doesn't bother to name their source. It's not named, but let's assume it's truthful. And this is from 2003. So you can see here it says, some people had a problem with the bringing back of the Emperor, but as I've explained elsewhere, we did that under George Lucas's direction. Yada, yada, yada. But George nixed that and told us we could bring back the Emperor.
Yes.
And this is an often repeated story by Tom over the 2000s. So here is an interview from 2007 from an outlet called Jasmo Online, where he says, our second idea was that the Emperor should continue to live through the process of cloning, and George said yes to that. There's another one, said, this is from Star Wars Underworld, and it's the 2016 interview. He said, George says essentially, no, you can't bring back the Vader costume, but if you can figure out how to bring back the Emperor, that's okay. The obvious way to bring back the Emperor was with cloning, which George immediately approved. So he's definitely gone on record as saying George is the conduit for feedback on all things Dark Empire, including bringing back the Emperor. Here's the problem. Lucy Wilson, who was the director of publishing at Lucasfilm, who essentially ran the EU back in the day, has gone on record since as stating that Lucas wasn't involved at all in the making of Dark Empire and that the Emperor would never have been cloned. She also gave an interview in 2022 on the Talking Bay 94 podcast. I don't have it here because it's audio, but if anyone follows the purple link below, you'd be taken to a Reddit thread where the interview's audio was posted, and she talks about how Lucas essentially cornered her in a corridor and said that he never would have brought back the Emperor. Lucy goes, well, how am I supposed to know that if you won't get involved? And this is actually the genesis story about how Lucas became involved in the EU, answering memos and signing off on story outlines, at least whilst Lucy was director of publishing. So it's Lucy's word versus Tom's word, right? Well, no.
Not really.
Not really.
It's more Lucy and Tom against Tom.
Yes. So if you remember this quote from a minute ago, so Tom's saying that George said you can't bring back Vader, but you can if you can figure out how to bring back the Emperor, well, that's okay. So here is an excerpt from an article on the making of Dark Empire from the Lucasfilm Fan Club magazine in 1992. And you can see here, Tom is interviewed, and he says quite clearly, Lucy Wilson said to us, you can't bring back Vader, but you can bring back the Emperor if you can figure out how to do it. So what we have is Tom Veitch in 1992 attributing to Lucy Wilson and not to George Lucas words that he had later attribute to George Lucas.
And we should also
word
for word. And we should also make it clear, because we had this discussion with someone who's troubled with reading and comprehension and literacy. This is a direct quote, according to Veitch, followed by, quotations. This is what he directly said. Yes.
So in reality, it's Lucy Wilson and 1992 Tom Veitch against 2000s Tom Veitch. There are more inconsistencies in Tom's story. I'm going to repeat some quotes, so apologies in advance for that. But he makes the claim in in his 2000s interviews that it was George who said no to Vader. So here, saying the first idea we gave him was that the Emperor had preserved Vader's costume and that they had put someone else in it so that Darth Vader could continue to inspire fear and obedience among the far-flung worlds of the galaxy. And George said no to that. Here's another one. About bringing back Darth Vader's costume and mask. George vetoed the idea, although he did allow us to have Vader appear in dreams and memories. He said, no, you can't bring back the Vader costume. But again, going back to the 1992 quote, here is Tom Veitch saying it was Lucy that said to us, you can't bring back Vader. And there's more. This is from Michael Kogie's 3-part Making of Dark Empire feature in the Star Wars Insider from 2015. And you can clearly see here, Lucy Wilson told Veitch, and this is according to Veitch, that anything to do with Vader was out. And you can see that he adds, she did say it was okay to use a training hologram featuring Vader. So you know that he's talking about instructions from Lucy Wilson. So this is actually a great set of articles because it falsifies this conspiracy theory that these YouTubers have, that Lucy only set the record straight after Tom Veitch, and that it's after Tom's death rather, and that it's sus that she didn't correct the record when he was alive, because it falsifies it, because here she is with Tom in 2015, where Tom is very much still alive, putting the record straight.
Yep.
He also claims that an uncredited we came up with the original proposal to bring back Vader's costume and mask. So it's impossible to say who the we is because he doesn't name we, but obviously at the very least it includes Tom. And you'd probably presume Cam Kennedy, since Dark Empire was the collaborative process between Tom and Cam. That's what you think reading this interview. And again, this one, the first idea we gave him was that the Emperor preserved the Emperor's costume, etc., etc. But in reality, and this is from the Michael Kogi article again, and again, Tom's words, Archie Goodwin was the one who came up with the idea
of Vader's costume.
Of Vader's costume.
Which we should clarify, this isn't Tom actively lying, since he says we came up with the idea. I mean, kind of bullshit, because he does admit it was Archie specifically. But it also just feeds into a larger point that we can also go into, which is Tom was kind of, he was very convinced of himself in many regards,
Yeah, we'll get to that a bit later, won't we?
Yeah.
So in summary, Tom's claims versus reality. Tom claims we came up with the idea of Vader. Reality, Archie Goodwin came up with the idea of Vader. He said that George said no Vader, but actually Lucy said no Vader. And he said, most importantly, George said we could bring back the Emperor. Well, actually, Lucy said we could bring back the Emperor.
Now, is this point coming up? But we have to ask, is he actively lying with the George thing? Or is it just, I mean, I don't want to say dementia. Is he confusing things? Or is he just generally speaking, if you will? I mean, assuming it could be from George?
The best possible scenario would be that he subsequently thought that it was George Lucas that fed him the ideas. So I think it's been posted on Reddit that George did give memos over Tales of the Jedi, which is a little bit later than Dark Empire, and it's possible that he thought, oh, I got memos from George. Maybe those memos I got earlier weren't from Lucy Wilson, but were in fact from George Lucas. So it's possible that he's just confused, but it's also possible that he's just not, and that he's just a liar sometimes.
Oh, nice comment for you. How long did it take you, putting these slides together?
About an hour.
Oh, that must sting. These slides are more detailed than many of my college lecture presentations.
I used Copilot. They helped me design the slides. But Tom's misadventures don't stop there. So he's also contradicts himself, either himself or someone more reliable on other occasions. So I thought I'd just share two that I found. The first is the claim that Lucas killed Lightsider, which was his novella set between Dark Empire 1 and 2. So in his Underworld interview, he says here, due to the stodgy side of the business, we never received the contract. When George found out he had approved the book without a contract, he killed the project.
Oh, there is more if you're going to go into it, because he also goes on with like, oh, Cam resigned because of that and everything.
Yeah, I will get to that in a minute, but I'm dealing with things one at a time. And this is just on the idea that Lucas is the one who pulled the plug on Lightsider, because this is contradicted by what he was saying at the time back in the 90s when the contract itself fell through. So this here is from a letter from Tom Veitch to Jim Bakey, who illustrated Empire's End. This was found in the great Joe Bongiorno's collection and shared on Reddit. And in it, he states quite clearly, the reason Lightsider is dead is that I pushed the contract issue of what is going to happen to the prose version. They balked and I walked. You should know this. It was my decision to quit writing Star Wars. So here's a clear contradiction. 1995 Tom says he's the one who pulled the plug on Lightsider, whereas 2016 Veitch said it was Lucas himself.
This couldn't be more clear if you tried. He literally says it was my decision to stop writing Star Wars and leave. Yeah, I mean,
which means that it's him who's pulled the plug, not George.
Yes.
There's
and both can't be true.
No, because they're contradictory. You know, I can't pull out the deal and then someone else pulls out the deal. Someone's got to be the person who pulls out of the deal. Otherwise, the second person's deal doesn't exist to pull out of. In a nutshell.
Well, yeah, that's spicy. we may go a little bit into detail after that when we are done with this. This is supposed to be the factual stuff without too much personal feelings. And I'm enjoying Republic a lot, actually. Next is the Battle of Jareem. Excited for a reread of that. But this is the most important presentation.
So this is an interview that he gave in April 1996 in a magazine called Out of the Moor, issue number 7, which is a webzine. And he talks about how this is brilliant. Lightsider's short novel I wrote, blah blah blah. In the process of writing this book, I invented a game that Jedi play using the Force called Lightsider. The game turned out to be quite good, I think. After I had finished creating it, I realized it would make an excellent computer game, sort of like Myst, but different in many ways. In fact, I may have invented a new genre of computer games.
Again, Tom, he's just,
a character.
Yeah, he's, how would you say? What's the opposite of being like, self-absorbed?
Narcissistic, perhaps. Egotistical, egomaniacal.
No, clearly the opposite of that.
Oh. So as we're negotiating a contract, I asked Lucasfilm if they could put a clause in that would allow me royalty of some kind if they ever decided to make a computer game out of Lightsider. Well, turned out I pushed the button on that one. They told me it'd be impossible to agree to such a royalty and that I was way out of line for asking one. Yada, yada, yada. So I elected not to sell them Lightsider because the gaming concept was just too strong.
Humble, thank you. Tom Veitch, as humble as always. He just, in this interview, humble a man as he is, declaring he probably just invented a new type of video game. And that Lucasfilm surely is gonna make an actual game out of it, No other way.
But again, this is him clearly contradicting his 2016 interview, where he said that it was Lucas who pulled the plug, because he says here, I elected not to sell them Lightsider, and then he's gone somewhere else to try and market it.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that as well. That's another very interesting point.
Yeah. So the other thing
from
that interview is the idea that Cam Kennedy resigned in protest over the Lightsider being cancelled. So he says that when George found out that he had approved the book without a contract, he killed the project, which we already covered. There was a tremendous uproar at that point, and the axe fell in a number of ways. One of the major consequences was that a proposed third series of Dark Empire was cancelled. Cam resigned, and I was told to wind up the whole plotline in the 2-issue series that Jim Bakey drew. The problem being that Cam Kennedy himself has commented on why he quit Dark Empire, and it wasn't about Lightsider being cancelled or being told to wrap up the story in 2 issues. He said that this is on the 2000 AD Thrillcast in 2018. Says, when we were finishing the second Dark Empire, Tom said we got a third one in a row, and I said, I'm not doing it. I was just fed up with it. I just found it so boring. And another one.
I want to say we have that on tape, and I found that very funny when I listened to it. I recommend listening to that interview and that portion if you can understand it. He has a very kind of hard to understand Scottish accent, but if I can play that right now, that would be very fun. Should we
get to the end and then go back and maybe listen to a couple of interviews?
Sure, can be fun.
Because then I can give you control of the screen back and you can steer. And this is just where he said that he met Lucy Wilson at the time, and this is after he had said he wasn't going to do Dark Empire. She said it was so sad you don't want to continue doing Dark Empire, and I said, well, to be honest with you, I don't really find the characters all that interesting. And she said, well, is there anything in Star Wars Galaxy you do like? He said the only one that interests me is Boba Fett the Bounty Hunter. So he said he wouldn't mind doing something like 3 or 4 days in the life of Boba Fett. And obviously what we got from that was the Boba Fett's mini comics with I think John Wagner was the author.
And later on we got even more. Like he wrote an issue with John Ostrander, for example. And I want to point this out, just my personal take on this. Like many, I at first believed the more recent Tom Veitch stories, because why would you necessarily question it? You know, this is the creator and he's talking in interviews about how and what happened. But even when I didn't inform myself further, I was confused by this story. Because if Cam Kennedy felt so upset about the treatment of Veitch and whatever that he left Lucasfilm, why did he return later on? And we are talking early 2000s with like the John Ostrander Boba Fett stuff.
Yeah.
If that were true, like something would have happened behind the scenes there as well. And yeah, that never really added up to me.
Yeah, if it were true, but it's not true because he said he was just bored with illustrating Dark Empire.
He said it in his wonderful, wonderful voice. He was just bored. You know, it's just it's sounded boring.
Yeah. So that's most of the presentation. I do have just a few eccentric quotes from Tom Veitch for us to enjoy. We can run through them quickly if you're so inclined. But here's Tom Veitch in that Out of More issue 7, number 7, trashing the Bantam books.
So can I read this? This is a great quote. I want to use this in the future. But when they set up their license with Bantam, Bantam's editor said, "You don't want a comics writer doing this. We'll get you a real science fiction writer." All I can say to that is, haha. I'm not a fan of the books that Bantam has done, with the exception of the Macquarie art book and 1 or 2 of the novels. I would love to know which 2 books Veitch liked.
Maybe it was the Jedi Academy trilogy, since he was such good friends with Kevin J. Anderson.
He says 2 books. I'm going to assume it's Darksaber. And you think Veitch is like a Hambly guy? Maybe he really liked Children's of the Jedi?
Someone's got to like that book. But we know that Tom likes Kevin J. Anderson, right? You know, this is him in 1995 being asked, how well do you know Kevin J. Anderson? Are you good friends or just associates? And he goes, good associates, actually quite good friends.
I like that he contradicts himself in that answer.
Good associates, quite good friends.
Yeah, good associates. Oh, you know what? No, actually, great friends.
And being asked, will you work on the next Dark Lords of the Sith comic with Kevin J. Anderson? He said, Tom Veitch wants to do the Sith War on his own. So I said, cool. However, he will be working with plots and story ideas we worked out together. So 1995, they were good friends. But here's what he said in 1996. He was asked if he had a preferred character that you like to write about. He says, I don't feel I really had a chance to get into some of the characters I created. Ulick Keldromer was taken away from me and trashed. And then he talks about Master Arca and Thon. He says, we really should woven a much more detailed and complex tapestry. I feel now that it was a mistake to ask another writer to collaborate on that series. Just, have you ever known an author to be so candid about the work of his colleagues?
Mm-hmm. And this is what, a 1-year difference?
Yes, probably not even 1 year. It's early 1996. What else have I got? Oh yes, Tom Veitch, his opinions of Heir to the Empire. and taking credit for Dark Force Rising and The Last Command. So this is him talking about the feedback he gave to Timothy Zahn, because he was asked to criticize to the Empire whilst Timothy Zahn criticized Dark Empire. So it led to a spirited exchange. As for me, I found his book curiously uncinematic. I told him Heir to the Empire didn't feel at all like watching a movie. Tim took that criticism to heart, and his subsequent work was a definite improvement. And again, this is from 2020. He described Heir to the Empire as a story it seemed derivative and uninspired, and curiously uncinematic. I told him Heir to the Empire didn't feel at all like watching a movie. Fortunately, Tim took that criticism to heart, and his subsequent work was a definite improvement. So we can give...
If it weren't for Tom motherfucking Veitch, the Thrawn
Round of
trilogy would
applause.
have been doomed.
Tom Veitch saved Star Wars.
Indeed. And again, this fits with him being so humble about his ideas with Lightsider and the video game.
And the new genre of video game he created.
Honestly, I haven't heard that exact quote that he said, I think I just created a different type of video game. This guy just thought, oh man, I just invented a genre. That is amazing. And it's a great point just to show what type of person Veitch was. And I say that as someone who likes his work.
I hope one day I believe in myself the way Tom Veitch believed in himself.
Does this also include all the fun? Oh yeah, I was about to ask. Yes, here we go.
So this is him talking about the galaxy gun from Dark Empire 2 in Empire's End. I don't think it's in Dark Empire 1. He says, in fact, the J.J. Abrams film, The Force Awakens, they used our concept as the basis for the hyperspace superweapon mounted on Starkiller Base. And the interviewer goes, then it's really an adaptation of the galaxy gun? And Tom goes, yes, it is. So Tom taking credit for The Force Awakens. Some might say without any evidence.
While also shitting on George Lucas overlooking other ideas for hyperspace weapons. Because he was fixated on the Death Star.
Yeah. And he wasn't a fan of the Dark Empire audio adaptations. So he's asked here if he's heard the Dark Empire audio adaptations, and he goes, the Dark Empire audio takes liberties with my story, so I don't like them. Sorry about that. No, he really doesn't like the audio plays. The audio tapes contain a lot of errors. I have no say over Dark Empire except in its original form. What others have done to my story, I find personally embarrassing.
Amazing.
And that's the end of my presentation. I can stop sharing the screen now.
Okay. Some fun quotes were still missing, specifically with Veitch taking credit for the movies. He thinks the entire idea with Palpatine and cheating death in Revenge of the Sith, oh, that was brilliant. George is foreshadowing the events of Dark Empire.
Yeah.
The only movie I give him is Darth Maul's lightsaber in Phantom Menace being from Tales of the Jedi. That's fair.
Yes, although that's also Chris Gossett who illustrated it.
Yes. And then also Rise of Skywalker for obvious reasons. Yes,
although that could just be two people having the same terrible idea of bringing back the Emperor.
Yeah, I mean, we know.
I always say never attribute to malice what can be adequately explained by stupidity.
Yes, but you see, he finds them personally embarrassing.
It's a lovely thing to say about people who put.
It's also a nice thing. Something. Yeah, it's also a nice thing to say. Yeah, you know what, Kevin J. Anderson? Yeah, I think we are very good friends. Working on this together. And less than a year later, it was a mistake working with Kevin J. Anderson.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see that just because my opinions on Kevin aren't the greatest either, but yes. it's just interesting. So Veitch thinks he created a game genre that Lucasfilm would obviously make the Lightsider video game because it's just so good. Why wouldn't they? All of the Star Wars movies took elements from Dark Empire intentionally, on purpose, directly from him, because he's that influential. All these filmmakers, they know Veitch. He's the main source of inspiration. And he thinks he's the reason the Thrawn trilogy is good, because he gave Zahn criticism that he took to heart, making it more cinematic and stuff.
Really, he's more important than Lucy Wilson, you could argue.
I would say he's more important than George Lucas.
George Lucas didn't save Star Wars. Tom Veitch saved Star Wars.
Oh, wasn't there also a quote when... So Veitch was shitting on Ulick Queldroma's story and how Kevin did with that. But then there was a later quote where he said, "Oh, that was wonderful," after the comic came out and was successful.
Well, he liked Redemption, didn't he?
Yeah.
But evidently he thought that his character had been trashed. I don't know when the trashing took place. I mean, he says he would have had he wanted more time to build up the character. So I guess what he was hoping for was more issues in between the original Tales of the Jedi and Dark Lords of the Sith.
Which is fair. The series is pretty short, all things considered. And
it is. They were very short mini-series in those days. They seemed to like sort of 5, 6, 7 issues and then move on to the next one. Whereas the later Dark Horse projects, like sort of Knights of the Old Republic, got sort of 50 issues to really breathe. So I'm not unsympathetic for that. I just think it's, maybe you don't call out your collaborators and say that it was a mistake to work with them.
Yes. Oh, here's also, I think this is relevant. The Kevin J. Anderson introduction to Dark Empire. When was this written? You may know. For the Dark Empire trade paperback.
Yeah, so that would have been about 1993.
Oh, so very early on. Okay.
Yes.
Let me see. Oh yeah, here it is, where Kevin also talks about Lucy Wilson at Lucasfilm has been our primary contact and conduit for information, offering her own suggestions and helping to keep the stories unified. She has told us that we don't necessarily have to refer to everything that happens in the other writers' adventures, but we must make certain that we just don't contradict anything.
Really? Lucy Wilson, not George Lucas?
Lucy who? And then he starts talking about, setting his trilogy after Timothy Zahn's books. And then he says only afterward, after he plotted, he wrote an expose, a story outline and everything and submitted it. Then he talks about only afterward did I learn of Tom Veitch and Cam Kennedy's Dark Empire coming out from Dark Horse Comics. I believe my response was something incoherent or at least unprintable. All of a sudden, I had to factor an entire major story into what I had already plotted.
Poor guy.
Yeah. Oh, this is also pretty sad, going by Veitch's later comments. Imagine my surprise when Tom turned out to be a very friendly, fascinating person with a good sense of humor and plenty of fresh ideas. That initial telephone conversation, the first of many, lasted over an hour and a half, and we have since swapped numerous ideas and suggestions for each other's storylines. He agreed to work backward to set things up for me, and I changed my focus in some places to take off from events in Dark Empire. Tom and I took it as a personal challenge to make our stories mesh as true chapters in the overall Star Wars saga.
It's he's not my favorite author, but he's Kevin J. Anderson is probably the nicest expanded universe author. He was a very good choice for the Tales from books because he's clearly a really nice collaborator and really good at sort of weaving things together, even if the stuff that he wrote himself is of questionable quality.
Yeah. And on the other end of the spectrum, we have Tom.
With Tom,
Isn't that also Yeah, isn't it also a real quote that Veitch once said he took so many drugs he couldn't remember a whole year of his life?
Yes. So I wouldn't necessarily hold that against him, but it doesn't.
No, I'm just saying that is a very funny quote.
Yes. Was it his memory that he do you say he forgot a whole year of his life?
I'm just saying that is, it's something to keep in mind with Veitch. I'm just looking at this very interesting introduction by Kevin here. Oh, this quote is also something certain people should take to heart. Kevin J. Anderson. I quote, "Of course, maybe I shouldn't be telling you all this. Star Wars fans don't want to hear that we are making this up as we go along. We want them to think that the history of the New Republic is a sweeping, coherent saga that fits together nicely. Well, rest assured that by the time these installments are published, they are part of a unified storyline told in each of our distinctive voices from our own perspectives. When you read Dark Empire or any of the other novels, remember that although Lucasfilm has approved them, these are our sequels, not George Lucas. If Lucasfilm ever makes films that take place after Return of the Jedi, they will be George Lucas' own creations, probably with no connection to anything we have written."
But bro, it's all canon.
It's all canon. Yep.
Yeah. It reminds me of the Dark Empire source book has a disclaimer in it that says, "This and all other products that take place after the events depicted in Return of the Jedi are the author's vision of what may have happened. The true fate of the heroes and villains of the Star Wars universe remains the exclusive province of George Lucas and Lucasfilm Limited." But it was totally canon, bro.
Yep.
I love the EU. I really do. It is my canon, but nah.
I like this. This quote is just perfect. This may be the best thing Kevin has ever written. Like, for real. Especially Star Wars fans don't want to hear that we are making this up as we go along. This is the perfect point. So this is the official part of the stream where we try to be nice, I guess. If you want to, we can go into the second part of the title of the stream, which is about certain YouTubers.
I mean, I don't have too much.
We don't have to directly name names, but we can just generally talk about that, if you will.
Okay. It's I think a lot of people like to believe that George Lucas was behind everything to do with the expanded universe, and I don't think they're willing to listen to the facts that suggest that he, at least at the start, was completely outside it. That he had actually just, according to Lucy Wilson, let me find the quote. So in the beginning, George was not very involved. He had given me and my group the freedom to develop stories so as not to compete with what he planned to do in the past. He was getting copies of all the comics and books only after they were published. And that was before Dark Empire and the genesis of Lucy Wilson convincing him to be involved. And he was involved. He was involved whilst Lucy Wilson was director of publishing, essentially in charge of the expanded universe, which I think ran from its inception to about 2003, where she was moved into reference books or something.
You mean when she quit? This is where the great Runes of Dantooine conspiracy comes in.
Yeah, she was moved on to tie-in fiction, and hated it, so she was moved into reference books. And the hypothesis is that it was Runes of Dantooine that caused her to
Isn't that
move
an
away
actual
from the expanded universe.
Wasn't this an actual quote by her, where it was like she was working on Runes of Dantooine and realized this is what we are doing now, like straight after New Jedi Order, this, and she just wanted to leave because of that. So Runes of Dantooine is the actual shatter point in the expanded universe existence.
The Denning-verse was caused by Runes of Dantooine.
Yeah, and this, in total, this just confirms what I always believed. It's that video games are shit and they ruin everything. Thank you, Star Wars Galaxies. I hope it was worth it.
The game itself was quite good. It's just the tie-in fiction that was less good.
And look at that ripple effect.
Yes, the butterfly effect.
Hello there.
Hello.
You have all the fans in the comments.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, what do you think about the sort of the fringe Star Wars YouTubers?
Trying not to name names? I mean, how many different factions are we talking? You are more up to date with that, than I am. Because as far as the way I still see it currently, and I may be wrong, it may already be outdated, but I see two groups which may have already merged. The idiot Star Wars YouTubers and the grifters. Is that still accurate?
I think so. I mean, grifters have the thing that's consistent about I guess what you call the idiots is they don't have enough of an audience to grift.
Yeah, true. That's the only thing stopping them, really.
It's the grifters have hundreds of thousands of subs, and the others have single-digit thousands and hundreds. Not to say that isn't a decent number. I know you're sitting on 2,000 yourself, Noah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's no money in it.
Yeah, so they're doing it for the passion.
Yes, so they're very passionate. That's something positive we can say about them. They're very passionate. I just think they are polemicists and apologists rather than investigators of the truth. And
yes,
the truth, because the truth is a little muddy.
And it's also just so interesting. These people are basically allergic to research or looking into stuff, because I find it so weird when I'm that invested into the expanded universe and the stories. I get being mostly invested in the fictional universe itself, but I would be curious about like real world behind the scenes and stuff. But they are really not. At most, you get what they keep repeating, like these certain quotes, like the lies by Tom Veitch, for example.
Yeah.
Stuff that just fits like what they want to hear.
Yeah, there's still research going on. It's just research that confirms a pre-existing viewpoint and not research that's designed to investigate the truth of the matter.
Sorry, my connection just died, so I barely heard any of that. But yeah, it's just. Can we talk a bit more in detail about that certain conversation we had recently?
Yeah.
Just in general, how hard it is to talk with these people. And I'm not just saying that they are like thick-headed, which they are. It is legitimately difficult talking to these people. And I don't mean this as an insult. They are seriously illiterate. They cannot write. They cannot understand the meaning of written words.
Yeah.
That was one of the most frustrating things. It's like talking to an 8-year-old.
I mean, I've known some very literate 8-year-olds, so
it's like talking to a dipshit 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Are you looking them up, the quotes?
No, I'm just there's something that basically says that when the difference between two individuals trying to talk to each other is more than 30 IQ points, then there's a breakdown in communication, because the person with the lower IQ is just incapable of comprehending what the person with the higher IQ is talking about, and vice versa.
Yes, and also yes to this comment. It is actually amazing. It leads to this effect, which I mostly have talking to Americans, because it's mostly those people. When you're just talking about something that is very simple to understand, and they are so confused by it, and they start asking questions that are so self-explanatory, it makes you question if you are stupid. Like, if you are missing the point.
Yes.
Because
well,
surely,
I found that I've missed the point because I've assumed that something else is being talked about.
Yes. And that was this discussion we had, which led to this stream. It's someone trying to argue about all of this and just not being able to communicate any point coherently.
But this is the thing with the expanded universe, isn't it? It's got a fairly low bar of entry for something that is so rich and, you know, possible to consume in such great volume. You don't have it's not like Dune, right? It's not it's not the, and I mean the original Dune. It's not a challenge. They're not challenging books, so it's really easy to be passionate about them without having any particular.
Yeah, and that's the reason when something is, because Star Wars is pulp, and if any book is above that level, like fucking, they think Traitor is like on a level with Nietzsche or something, because it's smart. It's written by a smart author, so it's smarter than the average Star Wars book, and they fail to understand any of it. They just realize, oh, this is smart, you know.
Well, that's me. I think Traitor is a smart book, and it's about
I mean,
the
sure,
limit of my intellect.
Sure, and also
appreciate it,
and also specifically in comparison to other Star Wars novels. But yeah, like, you have to explain the fabrics of logic. It's like, let me try to give an example. You're talking about, like, you're telling this person the sky is blue, and they will respond, then why is the Earth green? and you're just there for a second, you're like, what? And you're trying to comprehend what the fuck is even going on. That is the type of conversations we are forced to have with these people.
It's tough. It's as I've said before, that there's still a consensus within the normal communities. You know, people know that Tom Veitch is not reliable the further away he gets from an actual event. It's just
but then these people also don't believe it. I mean, one, they try to reinterpret these words to mean something else. You know, or they just say, oh, you know, they don't trust Wikipedia, or they don't trust Reddit posts because those are not true fans or something.
Well, they don't trust Wikipedia, even though it's been researched by some of the best Star Wars historians that anyone has encountered.
And there are actual, like, sources listed that you can check.
Yeah. Like the Dark Empire and the Lightsider articles are like some of the best articles on Wikipedia, and I totally concede that not all Wikipedia is wholly reliable, but you've got to take it on a case-by-case basis.
The Lightsider Wikipedia article, this is a side note, is almost perfect. It needs to be updated because it states that fanfiction author Joe Bongiorno leaked the manuscript of Lightsider, which is factually incorrect. As we can prove, I leaked Lightsider after getting the manuscript.
But how can you prove it now?
Because I have a screenshot of the Discord from like 2 months before Joe leaked it, where I leaked it to a bunch of people. So, yeah.
You leaked it to me.
To you, to a bunch of other people that were there during the time. Yeah. No. So if any Wikipedia editors are listening in, feel free. German Star Wars YouTuber Noah by a Lip research how that's written. Was the first to release a manuscript. Just get rid of Joe Bongiorno. That's gonna hurt his ego a little bit more, I'm sure. But we want to stay factual.
Well, that's the copy I have in my bookcase. I don't know if the final version, as it was shared around, was one that had edits in the same way that Heart of the Jedi had edits. But I think my one is raw, unadulterated Tom Veitch.
The Heart of the Jedi edits are a topic in themselves. My favorite being, when Han is writing on like this flying dinosaur creature. And he's just in the original, he's like, woo, that's awesome. And in the Joe Bongiorno version, he's like, woo, that's awesome. This reminds me of the time in the Marvel comics when I was writing these similar beasts on this water planet.
Yeah, obviously
signs
I don't
of
like
a great
that because
signs of a great editor.
Because no editor in the 90s would have suggested that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Doctor Who fans. I know they're passionate. So yes, they're passionate.
Yeah. I mean, how big would you say is this subset of fans? I mean, they are completely... They are trapped on YouTube. Or have they, like, overtaken any other website?
I mean, they're active on Twitter, but they don't have much of a presence. They're roundly mocked by a community called the Green Jedi Twitter, who quote them, and my favorite response was, "Wow, you really can't type."
Yeah,
and that summed it up for me.
Yeah, and we can confirm in the last couple of days, with,
yes.
with that discussion, there have been many great quotes that are completely incomprehensible.
Yes. But that's the expanded universe for you. Anyone can really enjoy it, regardless of how literate they might be.
Can I read that one where this person was basically telling you to get laid?
Yes.
Okay, this isn't even out of context, right? This person just wrote this as is in response to you saying, hey, actually, Veitch said this and that, right?
Yes.
And that we're gonna do a stream, talking.
Well, no, it was because I believe that I was mentioned on the stream indirectly, because she was talking about people who want to ruin the reputation of a dead man.
Yes, I'm sure Tom Veitch, Tom would be in tears right now if he was still with us.
So my comment was just her comment was that she hadn't thought of me at all, and my comment was that I don't believe her because that was in our stream.
Okay, I'm gonna read that now as is. And this again goes into these people being illiterate and making you question your own intelligence. Reading comments by these people makes me question my capability in the English language, because I see so many mistakes, but I can't be sure if it's like... I mean, I can, but, it just hurts my brain. Her response was, oh, I'm just surprised you wanted support to get you a high-class hooker long ago. Don't worry, honey. We can set you up for a GoFundMe. She can whisper sweet, them I do my live streams. I'm thinking if you're...
Yes. Four spelling errors in 10 words. Or 4 typos in 10 words.
Being generous, I just assumed fat fingers, but no, that's just what actual illiteracy looks like.
No, they spelt compacity in an earlier comment, which isn't a fat fingers thing. It's like a genuine literacy problem thing.
Oh yeah, and also when we mentioned the story Lightsider, and she read that as lightsaber, just because he got facts about lightsabers wrong doesn't mean he was lying.
It's a struggle when you have to spend half of your comment correcting things like that before actually going into the meat of the discussion.
Exactly. I would also just, not to get too politically charged here, but I just like that during the last discussion I had with this person, I made her so angry. She insulted me as a Joe Biden supporter, which is doubly hilarious because she, I'm pretty sure, knows that I am, German.
Well, you made it clear that you weren't Native American because you were insulting Americans.
Yeah.
She's kind of barking up the wrong tree in terms of trying to get me a high class hooker, since I'm happily married with a teenage daughter.
But does your wife ever tell you that when she does her live streams, she's thinking of you?
I mean, what my wife tells me, I'm going to keep between myself and my wife, Noah.
No, I don't think so. I'm saying I don't think, but yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Do you want to extend the olive branch?
I think I have been on a stream once with that person. I think. But yeah, you mean inviting these people on here? What do you expect? There's two options. One. No, I mean, okay, it's not really two options. It's gonna go this way no matter what, that I'm gonna insult them because they are too stupid to hold a discussion. And for the things I'm gonna say, this channel will be banned from YouTube.
True. I think you need to think about not getting banned from the last place that hasn't banned you from everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. I mean, so I can't make that great joke about Americans I told you a couple days ago.
No, you can't. Or you better not.
It is a real knee slapper. You people in the comments, it's pretty great, It's based on factual reality, and that makes it funny in a dark way, in a twisted way, But yeah, I mean, I wish, should we just read that comment chain?
It's pretty long.
I know
really long.
You know what? I have the time, and it's kind of funny. I mean, if I can find it again.
Yeah, if you want to share it.
Yeah. I mean, we also started this conversation. It all started because this person cross-posted like an ages-old video I made. That is just like a shit post. It's just an interview clip of like Aaron Alston and Timothy Zahn talking about what you shouldn't do, how you shouldn't write a story because it has effects on other stuff and you should be mindful of that. And I gave it a joke title about two bad authors that should have, listened to that. And I think the reason this person didn't understand it is because I titled it Timothy Zahn destroys Troy Denning and Ryan Johnson with facts and logic. And these people don't understand that this was a joke title because they think like that for real.
Yes, unironically posting destroyed with facts and logic.
Yes. Earlier I was going to say, because we said that these people, they just want their feelings validated, so they don't like factual information. I was going to say facts don't care about your feelings, and they wouldn't get the joke in that either. So,
well, they might understand it, but they'll just take it at face value.
yeah. I also want to point out this is a YouTube post by this person. It has 52 upvotes, and it has 87 comments, 82 of which are our comment chain. That is just amazing.
I do try to tell her that if she wanted to come across as not rattled, that the time for that was like 30-something replies ago.
Oh, okay. You want me to go on with the American joke? Okay. Ooh, I don't want to get banned off YouTube now that I'm streaming. I don't think they would ban. I'm sure people have said much worse. It doesn't contain actual like slurs or swear words or whatever, you know. It should be fine, right?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay. I have to give a disclaimer, you know, this is a horrible thing to say. Don't repeat this. Don't think anything of it. This is an example of dark humor and stuff, you know. Yeah. Okay, I was about to actually write that as a response to this person because this person is a very, very stupid American. And insulting her as one is fun because it's not really insulting. It's just stating the obvious and, you know, what is actually the case.
Like statistics about American literacy.
Yes. Yeah. Trying to argue that was also quite something.
Being 35th in the world.
And then proving, you know, the illiteracy rate. Illiteracy. Okay, I can't say it. Illiteracy rate. Yeah. I have an excuse.
Yes.
It's not my language. Because I could tell just from her comments and responses what type of person she is. And that she would probably get annoyed by this. So the joke was basically just, what's the only thing Americans love more than shooting children? Raping children. And I thought it was quite clever. You know.
You can see what the comments think of that.
Yeah, I am just saying, you know. I mean, it should help if you're in the vicinity of those type of Americans. If any American takes offense to that, then you know what type of person they are.
Pretty tame, Noah.
Yes, I know, but in these
let that
days,
be a challenge to you.
Yeah. I'm just saying there was a good chance YouTube wouldn't have liked that. Or I guess that she would have, I don't know, tried to get me off the platform for that. Yeah.
You should share the comment thread from the YouTube post.
If I share it on screen, then we reveal the name, you know, and do we want that?
It's up to you, Noah. It's your stream.
Let's have the comments decide. If there's anyone beside Frick here still watching, we're just gonna leak. Are we gonna leak who this person is? Because this is gonna lead to more YouTube bullshit drama with actual stupid, very stupid idiots. You know, these Star Wars YouTubers. Which could be fun in a painful way, but you know.
I mean, I like drama, Noah.
I know drama. We both get quite something out of drama. It's fun in the right doses. Oh God, I'm just looking at this right now. Okay. Ah, well.
There's a lot of comments in there.
Yes, and this is just the one common thread. We had the other one about the Zahn Alston interview, which is one of the most stupid and pointless discussions I think I have ever had in my life. Because to this day, I still don't understand what the main point even was. Do you remember?
No.
It is bizarre because it almost came across like she was trying to defend Troy Denning's writing. Because, yeah, it's just, okay, you know what? Fuck it. Let's leak who this absolute imbecile is. Share screen. Wait, can I?
The number of people watching is creeping up.
Oh, okay. So we have to give them something. Share screen. Is it working? I can't zoom in, so you probably can't read that. Wait.
There we go.
Yeah, this is basically just going. Yeah.
This is you trying your best to stay civil.
Yes.
Ish.
For a time, it is. Are we just gonna? Should we read it? Let's read it. Okay, so I basically just start with quotes. Like I don't even give my own opinion too much. Well, here, one sentence, but 2 quotes. Just because she posted the Tom Veitch 2003 quote.
You're just trying to put the record straight.
Yes. With the 1992 and 2022 quotes. There we go.
What a response.
Condoning on calling a deceased man a liar? Only after his death, Lucy finally said something? Tom has even spoken about writing to Lucas to pitch stories, which include what is now Tales of the Jedi. So is he lying too? He said here, Lucas loved the story. Sounds like you don't like him.
Wow.
Then I gave some points here. Condoning on calling a deceased man a liar. I really wouldn't act all moral in an attempt to make me feel bad / insult me, seeing you are the same person who during our last comment discussion gave a heart to one of your followers who also in that same thread told me to die and rot in hell, calling himself a good Christian. And then I couldn't resist. You Americans are truly, thankfully, one of a kind.
It's also quite hypocritical because they are planning on shitting on Lucy Wilson on their live streams.
Yes.
So it's.
But you see, Lucy isn't dead yet, so it's okay to shit on her and not believe anything. No.
I mean, most liars are dead, to be fair.
Yeah. This is a shocking fact, but guys, listen to me. Okay, real talk. People who lie all die eventually. Shocking. And then, just considering there are numerous interviews by Veitch about certain topics where he directly contradicts himself, he has to be lying or confusing stuff, which is harder to believe. That interview was recorded before he died, and obviously there's what we showed earlier, the 2015 one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea that Lucy Wilson waited till Tom was dead to correct the record is categorically false, because she fed into the 2015 3-part making of feature that Star Wars Insider did, that Tom Veitch also participated in.
She demands to show, where did I heard a response from one of her followers. That was great, yeah. Showing prejudice again. Superiority. Not a good look for you. Oh, this is... Okay. Because I mentioned Tom Veitch contradicting himself with the story of Lightsider. What she understood was lightsabers. So she says, getting lore mixed up or confused about lightsabers does not equate lying. Tom has been pretty consistent on George's involvement. As we just went through. Nope.
Yeah, apart from in 1992 and 2015, where he makes clear that it was Lucy.
And this one is just fucking amazing. In the fan magazine, the author said according, which is an assumptive word. I don't even know how to explain this.
It's trying to make the idea that Veitch isn't being interviewed for this article when he clearly is.
There are quotation marks.
Yeah.
It's the exact same quote he gives later in life, except he replaces Lucy Wilson with George Lucas. And then this one, I have no idea what she's trying to say. Like I asked, how would Lucy know if Vader remains dead, not even impersonated, if not a directive by the creator himself? No question mark.
I'm looking at the comments now. No, you've got a certain type of fan.
Nice.
You wouldn't say it's a woman moment. You'd say it's an American moment.
I would say it's a retard moment. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's retard American. That's the same. So, and to be fair, I did question if English was a native language because it gets worse in terms of coherency and generally everything here. But do you know the answer to this? Because I don't even understand the question. How would Lucy know if Vader remains dead, not even impersonated, if not a directive by the creator himself?
I think she's trying to say that the fact that she told Tom that Vader was out of the question could only have happened if she had consulted with Lucas, which doesn't make any sense. Like, she was clearly in according to her, she was just feeling out on her own. She said no Vader. She said bring back the Emperor. There's no confusion. It's just an incoherent question.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. You wouldn't allow Vader to be back. You don't have to be George Lucas to say that. It's whatever.
So that bottom comment, you're starting to see the English fall apart. Cam left due to not being interested, but interested in creating art and other story.
Oh gosh, yeah. First off, this one. You find it hard to believe Tom could be confusing because you want Tom to be malicious through lying. Why would he lie? I don't want Tom Veitch to be malicious through lying. I'm just pointing out that he did, in fact, lie.
I'm just interested in the history of the development of the expanded universe because the reality is a lot more fascinating than the sort of the idyllic version that these people have of its development.
Yeah. And I guess, that's just the core difference between us and them is that we like to learn things. And even if we don't like it, like, it happened. It's a thing, It took his job. Share actual interview date. 1992, 2022. I mean, okay.
That's what you did.
What else am I supposed
what you did.
I can't post links on YouTube in comments. They get deleted.
Yeah.
You should be sharing actual supportive evidence.
What was it that you posted? If
Lucasfilm Fan Club magazine 16, 1992. Is that evidence? Okay, but there is no evidence she should not know about what Tom Veitch said in a couple of interviews on the internet.
See, this is silly because she's a director at a major company. She's not working in marketing or communications. It's not her job to be across tiny interviews on tiny bumblefuck websites that probably have audiences in the hundreds.
In fact, he is speaking of the company in publications. Tom wrote to Lucas prior to Dark Empire and even Dark Empire. George liked Dark Empire. George liked Dark Empire. See, writing like a Neanderthal. Even gifted it. Okay, so it's amazing to know that Tom wrote Lucas prior to Dark Empire and even Dark Empire.
I'm always skeptical about that story.
This is like, so him writing to Lucas. Could this be another thing of him just writing to Lucasfilm?
Yeah.
And it probably landing at Lucy's desk, you know?
Well,
this he said kind of because
he
that
said,
story.
He said he wrote the idea. He said he wrote to George Lucas to pitch Dark Empire, and he was and then a woman from Lucasfilm phoned him back. So
yes.
it was yes when he talks about writing to Lucasfilm. I mean, maybe he did write to George Lucas, but it would have been intercepted and read by someone like Lucy Wilson.
This is like if you're a child and you're sending like fan mail to someone famous, they're never gonna see that. Like, oh boy. Dark Empire and Tales of the Jedi coming out nearly the same time, just small gap in time. If George hated Dark Empire, what? Why did he not seize the story when he was collaborating on the setup of Sith history? See how that dust makes sense?
That's Shakespearean. See how that dust makes sense.
Indeed. Nice gaslight. Oh, this is great. Nice gaslighting. You don't know anything about my beliefs or even American.
American what?
Yeah. However, I'm directing this towards you, not your origins, as this is not about that. You have not analytical thought process to question and puzzle things together. I'm offering you that. Again, English, not my native language, never studied, but I'm assuming, like, I am, there's supposed to be an apostrophe, like the thing.
Apostrophe, yeah.
Yeah. This is the German word im, which means in the. Im offering you that. Like I stated, this is your attack in a deceased man.
But going back, this thing that's saying why did he not cease the story when he was basically why didn't he shit can Dark Empire when he found out about it? Well, because it had already been published.
Yes.
The whole thing is that he didn't encounter any of these stories until after they were released. And according to Lucy Wilson, that was when he cornered her and said, "I would have never brought the Emperor back." You know, they're out there. They've been published. So he's not a time traveler.
Yeah, and we should clarify, it was that incident that made him check stuff, before it got out.
Yeah.
This also goes into the famous Matt Wilkins claim with New Jedi Order, how George read the books as they were coming out and decided, like 6-7 books in, that they need to change course with Anakin Solo.
Yes.
Showing no understanding of how reality works, how writing works, how publishing works, how release dates work, and how George Lucas works. Like, I'm sorry, this man, I don't know him, never met him. This man doesn't read books for pleasure.
No.
Or even at his job. I give him comics because he's a visual guy, but George Lucas is not reading novels.
He's not sitting down with Heir to the Empire, that's for sure.
In like a comfortable, like old-timey reading chair at the fireplace. And I mean, we have evidence he read Splinter of the Mind's Eye.
Do we?
I mean, yeah.
He had a meeting with
one.
Alan Dean Foster.
I mean, it's a short book. I give Lucas that. He probably read that. That is a fair assumption with that one. Cam left due to not being interested, but interested in creating art, another story. There, from what I see, and again, you should cite sources, was no bad blood between Cam and Tom.
He never suggested there was bad blood between Cam and Tom.
Yes. That is the confusing thing. And again, I think this is her not understanding the point about like Tom Veitch claiming Cam left because he was like offended on Tom's behalf. They canceled my friend's book, Lightsider. That's why I'm leaving. And that was a lie by Tom. And she doesn't get that.
There's no scenario where there's bad blood between Cam and Tom. Cam just quit because he was done with Dark Empire.
Yeah. And he said, this is boring. I don't care about this universe. I don't want to draw this for another 6 issues. I'm done.
Yeah. I want to draw Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm. You could say I'm out of line here, but I'm just being realistic. I'm really trying, girl, but it's hard having any form of discussion with someone who is actually illiterate. That's fair at this point.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for liking my comment, Noah. That's appreciated.
No problem. Like I stated, saving face over a book deal is not the same. It is fascinating that you don't have the discernment to analyze the difference. There's another apostrophe missing. Had was an error.
I'm pretty sure discernment isn't the right word there.
Yeah. But also had was an error. However, my point still stands on not equating lying.
But we're not assuming that he's lying. We're just making the point that it's not true.
Mm-hmm. And then YouTube is fucky here, and it's just repeating the same comments. And then someone is like America, US, Eagle, and she gave that a heart. Oh, the novella Lightsaber. God damn it. The novella Lightsaber and the development of it was never brought to the surface due to legalities. So what someone can draw from it to what was shared will never draw a full picture conclusion to what is true or not.
Again, it's not very good English, but I get what she's trying to say, which is that the truth of what happened didn't never saw the light of day. But the fact is that Tom Veitch is very, very.
What does this mean? The development was never brought to the surface. The Wikipedia is full of direct quotes by the people in charge being like,
That's the thing.
yeah, we're working on this. This is happening. It's kind of delayed. It's all there. There's a complete timeline.
Tom was quite happy to share in detail what happened in 1995 and 1996.
Yes.
And then again in 2016 when he told a completely different story. It's just that it's contradictory.
Ought fully, as per legality of keeping a lot of details hushed. What was said later can also be more details and not a lie.
Or not if it contradicts what he said earlier.
Yeah. But I think at this point...
Which is what I said there.
This one?
Yeah. I walked away because they wouldn't give me the rights to the game. By definition, can't be more details to George cancelled the book. The contradictory statements as to who pulled out of the deal and why.
Mm-hmm. No, he proposed the game from the game he invented for the story. He asked for the right if they ever made one from it after the fact, and they said no to both. So he elected not to sell it. Which means, as stated, the negotiations of contract fell through, cancelled. Now, yes, George could have read it. Yes, George could have been involved with what Tom put on the negation table. I don't think that's correct.
Negotiation table.
The negotiations were short. Yeah, it is confirmed due to legality. No further info was to be disclosed?
Yeah, literally, it wasn't confirmed due to legality that no further information was to be disclosed because Tom Veitch discloses exactly the reasons why the Lightsider didn't go forward.
Would this also be insulting a dead man? I guess not. This is a fair medical question, going by Veitch's own words. We didn't even mention that. Veitch. Are you aware of that?
Yes, that's how she pronounces Tom Veitch.
That's how I would say it if he were German. But considering we have heard Cam Kennedy say his name, that's not correct. So that is just another fun little tidbit. It reminds me, I once watched like the Star Wars YouTuber. He kept pronouncing James Luceno's name as James Luceno.
I can forgive that.
Yeah, but I mean, you would look up an interview with the people, if it's like a name you're not familiar with. But Veitch is just very funny. That hit me like out of nowhere. And it made me question if I was pronouncing it wrong, but not really. By the way, I just don't I don't understand stuff. It is confirmed due to legality. No further info was to be disclosed. Is this just trying to sound smart with just random words?
I think what she's trying to say is that due to non-disclosure agreements, the details of what happened in the negotiations weren't disclosed. Except the problem with that is that Tom Veitch disclosed them, like explicitly.
Yeah, and we know these people don't know how these what did you say? Like these NDAs, like these contracts, how that works.
Yeah.
They still think they can get their hands on Escape from Dagu.
And Nightfall. Enough time has passed. Contracts aren't in perpetuity. Except they are.
As told by an absolute expert on the field.
That's a whole separate part of the fandom, Noah. We're not even discussing today.
Yeah. We're discussing it's getting... Doesn't divulge? Divulge? Is this correctly written?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't start a sentence with doesn't.
Okay, I'm just saying divulge. I've heard the word, but it written like it looks kind of funny to me. Okay, doesn't divulge if he knew the beginning, so still does not contradict anything. Negotiating a contract without reaching a final agreement generally means there is no contract, by the way. He has not disclosed a lot. What you may think you know is not a lot. There are things not shared, and so you are coming up with speculations and swing conclusions due to what little you know.
I think my reply is very good, and thank you for liking it. Where I said I'm not speculating anything. I'm looking at what he said in the 90s and what he said much later and pointing out their incompatible claims. It's really easy. It's really easy.
Dude, I logged into YouTube, and this went on for a couple of weeks. Well, days for sure. And I just kept getting notifications of your comments, and it was basically always the same. These are contradictions. They cannot work. It can't both be true at the same time. You had to repeat that like 10 times. It was actually insane.
I'm very hard-headed in that respect.
Yeah, and I mean, it's fair, because how can you have a discussion with a person who doesn't understand what a contradiction is? He didn't say he walked away. He did say he walked away.
Yeah, he did. He literally did.
In his email to Jim Bakey from 1996 that was shared on the subreddit, they balked, I walked. And then also in his interview in Out of the Maw issue 7. Yeah. I also like this, just when she's adding you. And there's, it's like, because she was writing it, and then at Douglas, yeah. Oh, you believe a Reddit source. Basically. Oh, okay, first of all, you believe a Reddit. So again, these people don't like the Star Wars EU Reddit fandom. If I'm not mistaken, this part was posted by their own crowd, like the Joe Bongiorno people.
Yeah.
Nice one. Basically, they refused and he walked. That does not say he solely walked away for nothing. Yes, during negotiations, he wanted royalties. They balked, I walked. It all lines up from what is shared. George could have reviewed his story ideas, and George could have been involved in the legality of the contract. There it no proof he wasn't. Oh, yeah, you even say that. So you believe a Reddit source. Yes, they are scans of old emails from Joe Bongiorno's exhaustive collection. And as we know, you can always believe what Joe is saying. At D. Ening, in negotiations, they concluded not to go with it, meaning contract never happened, which including him asking for royalties if they ever decide to use the game idea. As for Cam, Tom said he left, which is true, and was not available for the project.
No, he said he quit because of as a result of the Lightsider project being cancelled.
Yeah,
which simply isn't true.
Mm-hmm. Hey, balked. I walked does not indicate he pulled the plug.
Bear in mind these comments are edited, which means that she's gone back and
yes,
carefully gone through them to see if
this is her second draft.
If what's written is coherent. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the second draft of all of these comments. Hey, balked. I walked does not indicate he pulled the plug. How else do you interpret this? But okay. Pointing out what you shared and what was said. You seem to not understand there is a timeline of events, and that George not being mentioned prior to being mentioned does not mean he was not involved in some compacity.
Compacity. Yes, that's the one I. That's the one I pointed out. So I've up until this point, I've been quite careful to not pull her up on spellings, but that was Jesus Christ.
I make this joke often, but isn't it great how I can speak and write better English than native English speakers?
I mean, that's not uncommon, though. I mean, most fluent English speakers who aren't British or American can speak better English than British or Americans. I think that's fair to say.
Hmm.
But you see here, she says it doesn't mean that George wasn't involved in some capacity. Well, we're not arguing that George wasn't involved in some capacity. What we're arguing with is that the claim that George is literally the person who cancelled the project is false.
I just imagine that scene playing out. Imagine it's like this giant office. George Lucas is sitting behind his desk, and in front of it is sitting Tom Veitch, nervous and sweating, and George is just finishing reading Lightsider. And he's like, Tom, it's genius. We're gonna have to release this. This
happened.
The next big
Definitely
thing.
happened.
But George probably did that with all the authors. He ordered them in his office,
And then he went, wait, no contract. No contract.
And then
How
I just
dare
imagine
you?
like George Lucas having like an anger, like J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man movies. That's good. Oh, so what if I misspelled and did not correct it? This is not about origin of nationality. But sure, Strawman. Tom wanted royalties. They don't do that. So yes, George most likely was involved.
She really doesn't understand what a straw man is.
Mm-hmm. You actually are. I pointed out what you shared does not contradict how little you know about legality, business, and contracts.
Yes, I should defer to this expert on legality, business, and contracts.
From what I pulled up, he didn't say he walked away. This is the second time she writes didn't. So this is just a common thing.
He said he walked away. He literally said he walked away.
Yeah.
These people are literally physically incapable of admitting that they've made a mistake.
No, obviously not. As I shared, it was about contract negotiations not falling through. Is that correct?
I don't know at this point.
I'm questioning my English. Is that a correct way of saying that? The contract negotiations not falling through?
Yeah, it could be.
Doesn't falling through means it fails?
Falling through means it fails.
Or am I having an aneurysm?
She's saying it was about the contract negotiations not falling through, meaning they didn't fall through. I don't know how to break that into a component part.
Again, YouTubers fact. Oh, you believe a Reddit source? Let's see. It just keeps going. This is new, I think. At Douglas. Does. Meaning everything fell through. I don't think you know what Borg means. Who cares if I misspelled? Who cares if I misspelled? You complaining and bringing it up is a straw man. Like I mentioned, you don't understand what Borg means or being deft.
She doesn't understand what straw man means.
Didn't she also use that phrase ad hominem a lot?
Mm.
It's his favorite hobby, to be fair. You are set in your narrative to prove a dead man is a liar. Oh, the irony of saying you are set in your narrative. Not mentioning Lucas on the beginning does not mean Lucas was not involved.
Again, I'm not saying he wasn't involved. I'm saying that he didn't cancel the project. Those are two very different things.
At Dougal. This is just, she keeps doing that. It's so weird. More than that, refused is another example of use as well as backing out of a commitment, or the other party suddenly refused to agree to terms, i.e. negotiators.
Can you tell that she's copied and pasted definitions there? Because it goes from or to capital T.
Yeah. Well, she did apparently attempt some research. That's commendable. Yes, he elected not to sell after they stated they don't agree with his terms. What a sentence. Last, he does allude to who is they. What? Last, he does allude to who is they, and if George was contracted about the deal he was trying to make, or how long these negotiations were happening. The negotiations were short.
Yeah, I got nothing there.
Yes, later he gave more detail. Not going with the proposed project is in fact killing it. He had no choice but to walk since things weren't panning out. Like I shared, due to legality, there are things not being shared.
Well, no, he didn't have to walk. He could have just not given video game rights.
Video game rights, no one had any interest in, by the way.
It's a new genre of game, Noah.
It's a brand new. Veitch is just that visionary. No.
You say we've both read Lightsider, haven't we?
Yes.
I'm struggling to think what the new genre of game is.
Yeah. I mean, he's meaning specifically the Lightsider game that they are playing.
Yeah.
I can see that being adapted. I don't see how that would change the face of video gaming history.
No.
So yeah, let's go on. So you assume there are no further details. You really know how project proposal are, nor do you understand the timeline of events. So you understand how project proposal are. Nice. Nor do you understand the timeline of events. That is clear. George and Lucasfilm didn't go through with the contract. Many people don't know this, but Lucasfilm was indeed founded by the brothers, George and Lucas.
George Film and Lucasfilm.
Yeah. It's like the live-action Super Mario movie. It's George Lucas and Lucas. Tom wanted royalties if they decided to take the idea of the Jedi game and make it into a game. They said they don't do that, so yes, he pulled away from it. You want to make a dead man look bad. Tom V shared due to legality. He is not going to share anything else. That is not fiction.
Except he did share. He shared in 1996 and he shared in 2016 or whenever it was. It's just that they were incompatible.
I like how she went from just calling him Tom, because obviously they are on first name basis, to Tom V. Or Tom the Fifth. So that's pretty nice.
In a previous post, didn't she say that they weren't sharing anything due to legality, and now he's saying that Tom V did share due to legality? It's very confusing.
Yeah. Sorry, connection was dying, but yeah, this is such a sentence. Tom V shared due to legality. He's not going to share anything else.
That is not fiction.
Yeah, and then about a dozen times above legality, he doesn't share anything. Yeah. Am I still clear? Just asking, because the connection is a bit wonky.
I can still hear you perfectly.
I didn't understand that. I'm taking that as a no.
No, I can hear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, it's just a little robotic. My connection is just bad.
Yeah. You sound perfectly clear.
Okay, that's good. Okay, AB.
Oh, you just died. And you're back.
The contract fell through for Tom's novel. Just like Heart of the Jedi, very similar story. Tom then purposed a game to be made from the Jedi game he created for the novel. If they made it and that was shot down, so he completely backed away from that. That said, he was not going to get into further details due to legality. Tom V shared due to legality. He's not going to share anything else. What? Okay. Oh my god. It's because of the YouTube being fucked and a lot of these comments repeating, I'm getting confused. And obviously her writing doesn't help.
No.
Ed Dougal. More than that. Refused is another example of use, as well as backing out of a commitment. Oh yeah, or that. Oh yeah. We read that already. That just fucked me up. A reminder, all of her comments are edited. They are all the second draft.
You can see from these comments, I really tried again and again and again and again.
Yes. Oh, this is a new one, I think, because I have no idea. Is this English? Verding?
Verding? No, that's not a word. I mean, it's meant to be according
to you.
It's meant to be according to you, but no.
Yeah, only second. Verding to you, whom don't care there is further info not revealed. That the game ordeal was only about the royalties, which was denied, so he pulled away from that. Yes, you want to ruin this man's reputation. Reason you said legality mention was fiction, and you also don't want further info, so you can make assumptions to use to discredit the man. So yeah, you want to credit Veitch.
I was struggling at this point.
Her comments makes it sound like she's both for you and against you at the same time, because obviously, you. So you can make assumptions to use to discredit the man. This is not about the EU, but about the person. Nice straw man.
Straw man.
Again, using words that Americans don't know. It's like communism. You know, it's just a buzzword. You know, I don't know what it means, but yeah. Lucy is not free from criticism and questioning. What is there to be criticized and questioned now?
I think this is in response to me saying that Lucy Wilson is basically above criticism because she's consistent 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And she is.
Oh, this is a big one. Another straw man down here. Okay. Not incompatible with Lucas killing the project. The contract did not go through, hence killing the project. He wanted royalties if they took the idea for a game. This is really just going in circles. Holy shit.
But it's just completely incoherent.
And it just keeps getting worse in terms of writing as well. You stated the legality topic was fiction after you stated it doesn't matter. You did not ask where it came from. However, how passive you are and saying it doesn't matter truly tells me you fixed on your decision about Tom. I never said Tom was free from criticism. This isn't a whataboutism. She never stated or corrected Tom in the past. 2015 interview to the rescue. That was being this questioned now. Also, listening to past interviews, she has gotten other accounts wrong.
Which she doesn't clarify at all.
This is from the same lady who said, please list your sources and stuff. Yeah. As for the 1992, how would Lucy know if Vader could not return in any form, including an imposter wearing his suit, if not confirmed by Lucas? Because she was
in
making
charge.
this.
Yes, because she was in charge. It was her decision.
I'm going to point out that Zahn said he got Western games from Lucas for Thrawn Trilogy, which both Dark Empire and Thrawn Trilogy were nearly coming out at the same time. So that begs the question of George also communicating with Veitch, spelled wrong, as Veitch, again spelled wrong, wrote Lucas before Dark Empire with story pitched and also leading into his working for Lucasfilm. I find it so funny that she's pronouncing his name as Veitch and then writes it Veitch. Like actually correct IE instead of EI. Because English speakers have trouble differentiating there. But
also the probability that Lucas is the one who insisted that Zahn received West End game supplements is almost nil.
Yes, it is. And these people, they don't. Yeah. And this is the second in her post, where she shares this later quote by Veitch that was factually incorrect, where he credits George Lucas, but before he did, it was Lucy Wilson. And she just doesn't accept any of this being pointed out. And this is over 80 comments. And YouTube is fucked, and a couple of them are repeated again and again, but it's still 80 original comments here.
Yeah.
And this is our second discussion thread. Before that was the fucking Alston-Zahn debate, if you want to call it that. You are going into a straw man. I would love to be inside a straw man. Also saying it is my core motive is an assumption of your as well. I'm addressing the motives you have Agapesy the man. Not Dark Empire, Lightside. At least it's not Lightsaber. Or even Tales of the Jedi, the EU. Same goes for Lucy, not about the EU. Agapesy is my new favorite word. Ed Dudu. Kess away after negotiations falls through. And yes, George can approve of something and then pull out. Do you even understand business?
I should definitely defer to the understanding of business to someone who spells capacity.
Bob Cooper even stated it. The reason the project never happened can be classified as contractual differences. What makes you think Lucy was not aware? There are reasons she should be aware, since he is talking of his work with the company, speaking of and for them. He's not really speaking for the company. If he wasn't working for Lucasfilm whatsoever. This is like 20 years after he worked for the company in those interviews, but whatever.
He didn't even work for Lucasfilm. He worked for Dark Horse Comics.
Yes, one interview is with a 501st member. That means something. Yep. His story aligns. One walks away. Is this starting all over again? Yeah, it's starting again. Again, YouTube, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but it just adds to the nightmare that is this comment thread.
Yeah.
Oh, this is where I chimed in. Besides being an illiterate moron, you can't write coherent English sentences. This is legit unintelligible, which is fair.
Right. So now so essentially I took 4 days off because I went on holiday and my connection wasn't good enough to load YouTube.
And your wife would be pretty upset if you spent your family holiday just being like arguing with morons.
She's quite understanding. She knows I argue on the internet as a hobby.
And now she's like, lol, you haven't crossed my mind. Neither has your bogus hate against the deceased man. She's really trying to nail this point down in an attempt to make us feel bad.
Yeah.
Because, oh, you can't talk bad about a dead man.
But she can talk bad about Lucy Wilson. That's fine.
She's really not one to talk about like morals.
No.
Being an American and all, and being her kind of American.
Yeah.
The type who supports, pedophilia, but
incumbent presidents.
Mm-hmm. Ha 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 ha! You are truly pathetic. Now arguing on what I mentioned on my show is about you. Damn, you need validation. You sound so lonely. Thank you for contributing to my channel through watching. Yeah, you really need the engagement anyway. I'm laughing at how pathetic, lonely you are. Again, at this point, it's over with any sort of actual discussion. This is just getting petty now. Mm-hmm. How desperate you are in need of validation. You were never on my mind, nor even thought of for my show and topics. Here you are arguing about it for validation. Emojis like a 50-year-old Facebook user. A person can't get as low and desperate as you. So unhinged, you want to argue if I was thinking of you. More emojis.
You can see my comment there.
Methinks the lady doth protest too much. Yep.
Good bit of Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
The time to act nonplussed was about 30 replies ago.
More emojis. Add to do. Okay, if laughing at how pathetic you are is protest, believe it. If it makes you feel good. Thank you for you. What? Thank you for you pathetic desperation of validation. Maybe you should go get laid. Should I do a GoFundMe to help you get a quality hooker? A good answer would be, we are not Americans. We don't need GoFundMes. We earn money. Does it continue on? It's repeating here. Yeah, 31 replies ago. You wanted a GoFundMe high-class hooker sponsor 31 posts ago. No one can read your mind, sweetie. Emoji, bless your heart. And then this classic. Yeah, we are there.
But then we're at your favorite one.
Reason for quote, not me talking, but the hooker. I know you can't discern that, but I won't hold that against you. Even high-class hookers aren't that smart. Their service is not for speech, but at least you will get the validation you are seeking and a little bit more.
Yeah,
you poor lonely soul.
So what she's trying to say is, I was just pretending to be retarded. Joke's on you.
I don't get caught up on a classy hooker's make-believe quote. Again, they aren't known for their anything else but sex. I know, see why you are so lonely, needing validation through a woman's video.
I now see.
Is she now pulling the defense of I'm a woman and you're like...
No, her argument is that the reason why I think she was thinking of us is because I needed validation.
Okay, this is the end of this. H, you are so high-strung, you do need to get laid. I better get that GoFundMe going for you. Well, that's nice. Oh, and this is where you clarify Tom Veitch doesn't have to be lying. He could just be confused. And then this is another great quote by her. Not saying he is lying. Autism is. If someone is reading that not knowing that I was even in here because I'm nowhere to be seen right now, that quote makes even less sense. Oh yeah, Half the Fan magazine, he didn't admit it. It was according to Veitch, which is not admittance, ignoring the fact it is an actual quote.
She says, "Can you not discern saving face over a deal not going through?" Well, if he's saving face, he's still lying.
Or do you just want to paint him in a bad light, even including using a man that was a good friend? What?
I don't know who's
is this
referring
about
to.
Cam Kennedy?
I don't know.
According does not mean admittance? What? That also does not state was not involved either. Oh, this one. I didn't respond to this, but it's also great. Also, riddle me this. How would Lucy Wilson know that Vader does not return in any way if she or they never consulted with George Lucas until after the fact? She really was proud of that one. Beginning with riddle me this.
It's completely incoherent.
Yeah.
It's completely incoherent. She's in charge. That's why. It doesn't even require a second of critical thought.
But yeah, that's over 80 comments trying to just state factual information, and it didn't work at all. And now this lady is going to do her own stream next week and shitting on Lucy Wilson, which she should be ashamed. Shitting on an elderly lady who's out of the public spotlight.
Or
who could be dead at any moment as well.
Just in all seriousness, shitting on the lady who is responsible for the best years of the expanded universe.
Who's responsible for the creation of the expanded universe.
Yeah.
As well as the Indiana Jones books of the Phantom era. That was also a thing where she's credited right in the first book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how these people can be described. Of course, now we have the most viewers after we just read through all of that absolute nonsense.
I've seen us get up to like 15.
But that's nice.
That was when I was giving my presentation.
I hope some certain people were among the viewers,
It would be entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, since we leaked who this person is anyway, can we also talk about this weirdo alliance that she's part of? That is your domain. I've barely even had any interaction with these weirdos, and I would like to keep it that way, unless it leads to funny drama. But I think they are just legitimately unhinged, so I don't know.
I mean, it's just a small group of YouTubers who want to defend the expanded universe, and that sounds harmless as to begin with, but they're very aggressive, I think, to put it mildly.
Yeah. Good night. Thank you for watching.
Nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, what do they call themselves? The Gatekeeper Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Unironically. Yeah. And
yes,
their self-proclaimed leader is calling himself Melvin.
Yes.
I hope that's at least his actual real name. Because if you use any pseudonym on the internet, why would you ever choose Melvin?
It could be an iota of self-awareness.
You think?
Could be. It's possible.
See, I'm not gonna do the mistake of thinking those certain type of people have any sense of self-awareness.
I mean, they want to protect the expanded universe, and I can appreciate that. I just think that their methods are retarded.
Yeah.
And
Oh, we know
calling
someone is watching and commenting on it in the Discord if you want to check.
Which Discord?
Ours, the Joe related.
Oh yes. Oh, that's nice.
Noah versus Melvin is a battle I have desired for years. But yeah, this bizarre group, I think they have overshadowed like the rest of the stupid type of Star Wars YouTubers.
The Bajorna Knights.
Yeah. Do they still exist? I mean,
I don't know. I think they've been quite quiet since.
yeah, I think the whole Joe Bongiorno has disappeared again into obscurity, didn't he?
Well, he was going to publish the Hungarian Han Solo novels, but
the official translations.
Official translations.
Finally.
But that didn't work out. Someone may have got there first.
Yeah.
It helps that I actually.
And I mean, he could and he could still release his version of the translation, but you know,
he could.
He doesn't. He had them for like over 5 years now.
Matt Wilkins has reviewed my versions, our versions. So I feel that the race has been won.
Yep. And I mean, our versions are the ones that are now available for everyone who wants to read it. So.
Yes, and I've had dozens of thank yous over the years for translating them.
Mm-hmm. But who knows? Maybe Joe will return with Escape from Dagu. Now that William C. Dietz has passed away, he can annoy his surviving family members and being like, "Hey, we talked. Your father, we talked about this before his passing, about finally giving the fans what they wanted. That was his dream.
He's dead now. You can't
getting Dagu.
Can't be held liable.
Yeah, the contract is over. He's dead. It's all fair game now. That would actually be funny. In a very depressing and dark way, that would be funny.
What if Escape from Dagu came out?
Yeah, I'm just imagining Joe actually trying to talk to like the grieving family of Dietz. And being like, the contract is up, we can do this. It's what Bill would have wanted.
Something positive can come from this tragedy.
Yeah. And then like his children are like, of course we said yes, because when we met Joe, we just questioned ourselves, like, how can a person this wonderful even exist? Oh man, I kind of miss the Bongiorno days.
Yeah, I genuinely miss them. The most of them. I joined Discord far too late to enjoy those peak years. I'm very sad.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun at first because he just kept announcing, "Oh, it's almost ready," like George R. R. Martin. And eventually it did come out, and then...
Unlike George R. R. Martin.
Yes. And then we know the nightmare that followed.
Mm.
And then the convention stuff that also followed, right?
Yes, the convention stuff. I wish Lance was still here.
Who knows? He may be lurking in the shadows. Or watch this later. I don't know.
He may be. I doubt it. But yeah, they weren't happy about him selling a convention version of Supernatural Encounters. That's for sure.
I'm missing good drama now. Now I'm hoping these people watch this stream and get angry. Would be fun.
There's a possibility.
I mean, are these Gatekeeper Alliance people doing anything else other than making like shitty videos and stuff?
Well, I know they respond to some fairly small YouTubers who are much smaller than your 2,000 subscribers. So it is possible that they will pick up on it and comment.
Interesting. You know, this was fun. It makes me want to do more streams like this where we just, put up some actual information. Just because it insults them so much.
Well, there may be opportunities to react in the near future to other streams.
True. That would be fun.
Like a really good Lucy Wilson stream would be good to react to. Full of accusations.
Lucy, who was Lucy? Lucy who? No one even heard of this woman before that interview.
How dare she? She's no Tom Veitch, that's for sure.
Like a glorified secretary claiming to have created the EU?
Where Lucy goes, so goes my nation, frankly.
I'm actually willing to bet money right now that is going to be a line that is said in that stream. Or something along those lines, Lucy being like a glorified secretary. Like they're just gonna do like the Kathleen Kennedy approach.
I think the comments might say words to that effect, because those comments are the sort that get solicited by that YouTuber.
Okay, I'm just clicking on that channel now to see if there's anything more going on. Doesn't look like it. I just want to mention she announced she was going to talk about that during a stream yesterday and then ran out of time. Right?
Yes, it was very sad because that was why I tuned in.
Ugh.
It would have been a nice epilogue to talking about Tom Veitch. But you enjoyed this, so future streams, maybe it's something we can tackle.
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm game.
Oh god, I'm looking at this. Oh my god, I don't even want to touch this subject. She made a video titled Carrie Fisher's Tragic Death. Who is to blame? What is the truth?
Was it Kathleen Kennedy? Is she to blame? Was it JJ
I don't even
Abrams?
want to click on this. This is
Was it Dave Filoni? Was it Ryan Johnson?
This is 14 minutes long. I mean, it could be in good taste, but I doubt it. I mean, not being an expert, I would say what was responsible for Carrie Fisher's death, a mixture, I would say, of like drug use.
I would leave it to the experts.
Yes.
I wouldn't make a video about it.
Yeah, I mean, we can assume, she didn't exactly live a very healthy life.
No, she did have a cocaine nail in Return of the Jedi.
You know what I think this video is about? I don't know for sure. I'm not going to click on that now, but I'm gonna make the prediction. It's saying she was essentially murdered by Disney because they forced her to lose weight and stuff. No, I have seen that argument before, because Fisher needed to lose weight for the movies, and they think, oh, that must have killed her, because of her condition itself, and that contributed to her death. I'm gonna bet that is the actual point.
Well, you can watch it offline.
I'm gonna send it to you, and you can watch it, because I'm not gonna waste my time with that.
Oh, because I'm the stubborn one.
Yes, you are. This is your hobby. This is what you like to
do. That's fair.
I'm just quickly looking through this if there's anything else. Disney Lucasfilm fails to give credit to the late Tom Veitch, creator of the Tales of the Jedi comics.
Well, that could be because he invented the Starkiller base, or because he brought Palpatine back.
This is 3 years ago. I guess this is complaining that they didn't say, like, oh no, this beloved author has passed away. I guess.
I mean, he did save Star Wars, as we established.
Oh god, this looks fascinating. 3 years ago. It's not George's story. Intellectual dishonest and appeal to authority fallacy.
Oh god.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna send you that one as well.
Good.
Dave Wolverton passes on, and no tribute as creator of the Witches of Dathomir.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Mm-hmm. Review of revisioned EU books, the Essential Legends collection. Original author acknowledgements are missing.
Original author, what's missing?
The author's acknowledgements, like I guess 4 and afterwards. Yeah, acknowledgements. Okay, we are now at 5 years ago. Not that many uploads of videos in total. I guess it's more streaming now. Oh, 6 years ago. Okay, I'm not looking at more of that. That is oof. And then, yeah, there's a bunch of streams and stuff. I think you watched her discussing Traitor. I'm sure that was great.
I've seen her live streams talking about that and how Jedi don't lie was my favorite quote, because Obi-Wan Kenobi never lied, did he?
Yep. Here are the 2 videos, by the way. You're gonna have a blast, I'm sure.
Oof.
Disney's hates Ben Solo. Again, great English.
Intellectual dishonesty and appealing to authority fallacy. Wow.
A lot of big words.
A lot of big words that may not be fully understood by the author.
Oh my god, this looks amazing. George Lucas finalized Luke's marriage and peace for the Republic. You think this is going to have a lot of factual information in it?
It'll have a lot of something. George Lucas finalized Luke's marriage. Oh my god.
Fantastic. I'm just looking if there's anything else funny. I mean, why not? We have to do more streams like this. Just, are there any more of these interesting characters that just, you know, also actually upload stuff? Oh no. Video from 1 year ago. You know what it is?
What is it?
Announcement. Legends Con 2. Half an hour long.
Wow.
I have to say, looking at this in retrospect is like the most depressing thing ever, I'm sure.
We missed out on a convention with the Jedi Prince authors and Troy Denning and Kevin J. Anderson.
I'm actually so sad missing a chance to talk with those fantastic Jedi Prince authors. I would have flown all the way to the US just to talk with the Davids.
No, you wouldn't.
I mean, is that really like a fair trade? We either get the Davids or we get James Luceno and Matthew Stover.
I mean, it certainly presents a dichotomy between the two conventions, doesn't it? On one hand, you got Luceno and Stover and Sean Stewart, and on the other one, you got the Davids, Kevin J. Anderson and Troy Denning. But you did have Chris Avalon. I would have found Chris Avalon interesting.
I like that we can also separate these parts of the fandom by what group of authors they like that, you know. It's just, it's also crazy because like from his history, we know Troy Denning wouldn't like those people if he knew about, you know, what type of people they are.
Oh, you mean because of the people he's blocked on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay, there's a live stream titled Wikipedia Files. I'm hoping this is a series because it sounds hilarious. Because I'm assuming it's just trying to disprove factual information again, because they don't like... What is the reason they hate Wikipedia so much?
I mean, Matt Wilkins is the ultimate person who laughs at Wikipedia. So I think it's just the same. I think it's the same attitude that people have towards people quoting Wikipedia. That, oh, you quoted Wikipedia, or you didn't do your research. But it's the same with Wikipedia.
Mm. And the hatred for the subreddit, which is factually the biggest like group of Expanded Universe fans in existence.
Yeah, it has like 300,000 subscribers.
You're not gonna get bigger than that, you know.
No, I mean
especially not on like old forums and stuff, you know, antiquated forums.
Well, when I've posted on the EU subreddit, my general stats are that I've reached at least 30,000 people when I've posted like the Hungarian Han Solo novels. So that's dwarfing anything on YouTube.
Oh God, there's a little duology here. Breaking news: Jake Lloyd's mom speaks out on Star Wars. Followed by Jake Lloyd and the toxic fan narrative. So I'm guessing this is trying to say, oh, there is no toxic fandom.
Well, it's the
Jake Lloyd.
argument. It's the argument that it's the media rather than, at least with Armored Best in the Phantom Menace, the argument is that it's the media and not the fans who turned against these people. But with Jake Lloyd, like, he got bullied at school, so it can't be the press, because
I'm sure that all of that had nothing to do with Jake Lloyd's downfall. You know, I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know.
I will definitely watch this Legends Con 2 video. I can't wait to watch it.
Fantastic. It's gonna be so fun. You can look back and realize she's probably so hyped for it.
Well, I mean, the people who are on the right side of history won when it came to those conventions. I can say that quite confidently.
Okay, I'm on 3 years ago now with the streams, and yeah, there's a little bit of grifting. Well, James Cameron virtual signaling upset everyone. Half an hour long. Yeah, I'm assuming that didn't take off. Did we even mention that other guy? Do you even remember when that happened? There was like this big, like, actual Star Wars YouTuber who did like lore videos for years, and then took a big break and came back, and his video was like, Kathleen Kennedy is a Nazi, and these are.
Oh yes, the Lore Master, isn't it?
Yeah, and then he changed the title 3 times, and then he changed it to these people are monsters, and then he later changed it back to Nazis.
No, it's now it's called The New Nazis and Their Victims, and he's got 1.07 million subscribers. Just to make you feel small.
Oh, wasn't there a mass exodus after he posted that?
There's a lot of people saying, I genuinely gave this video a chance and watched it all the way through. It's almost entirely incomprehensible. What the hell?
Yeah, didn't you watch all of it?
I did. It was completely incomprehensible. Like mental problems. Like whoever did it has serious issues.
Didn't you say he came into contact with some of those idiots?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, I exited that because holy shit, that was too brutal. But yeah, 2.5 hours. Not bad, not bad.
I think the important stuff was in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, and then it was just a little fun going through these comments.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, Noah, because,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I'm sure there will be very adult and thought out responses to this by the people we offended.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I still think my question wasn't answered if she's like actual English native speaker. Because I would feel bad if she isn't, but you know, I have to assume.
I think she is a native English speaker. I think it's just a case of this is what 54% of Americans are like.
That is so sad, and that's the reason I still hoped. it would be a second language thing. It would be understandable, but holy shit. What a depressing note to end this on. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Maybe we will find another topic to discuss another time. There are plenty, I'm sure. And there are more than enough of these lol cows out there. Holy shit.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you for the great presentation, the little slideshow.
No problem.
All right then, ending the stream. Good night, everyone, whatever time it is for you. I will see you next time. Goodbye.